today's Monday and I wanted to do a just kind of life update. What has been going on? Where am I at? What's happening? So I am getting settled in. Things are finally, I feel like, in the place where I'm getting caught up. So for me, if you've seen a whole bunch of videos over the weekend, that's because I'm working on what is going to be my sales funnel. And I figure for those that are already on YouTube and that follow the movement and support, why not give you guys a sneak peek and some tease of the different information that I'm talking about, that I support, that I'm pushing. So you guys get a little bit of that. But today is Monday. Today is a day where I feel like at the end of this day, I'll be caught up. I have written my to-do list. So I woke up in the morning and I wrote a to-do list so that I can really be productive. Some days you can be creative and get things done. Some days you have to be productive. For me, one of the things that I struggle with is not getting a part of that team no sleep. Like, I'm always gonna get sleep. Like, that will always happen. So for me, if I wake up early, then I will go to sleep early. And so instead of beating myself up, I give myself grace. I know that that's something that I just will do. I will sleep. So just being in a place where I am organized helps me get through the day. Another thing that I found out, QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is what I use for my tracking of how much money I make, my expenses. It's great for tax season and everything. Been using it for like at least 2 years, and my accountant suggested it and I have continued on that path. So I just had to apply. So you have to apply for this. You have to apply and get approved to send invoices and receive invoices through QuickBooks. And I did that and was able to get approved in January. So I'm like, okay, I'm moving forward. I'm about to get approved. Like, we're moving forward. This is going to be a great time and a great day in the life for me to send invoices and everything. This is going to be more professional, and it's another way that's already connected to my bank account. Boom. Yeah, QuickBooks takes a little bit too long for me to transfer the money. So I'm just giving that experience, and I'm giving you guys that tool and that tidbit now. I mean, eventually I'll be at a place where if the money comes 2 to 7 business days, fine. But I like that instant transfer, or at least be able to get it in 48 hours. So I don't know what QuickBooks is doing, but just know that I got paid on Wednesday, and by Friday it still wasn't in there. So I was just like, interesting, making a note, and we're gonna move around from here on out. So that's one thing that I learned. Also, for me, I want to get into a little bit of kind of my weekend. So my weekend was really literally drawn to church. For me, I think that every season of my life, I've been in a situation where, like, I will always find someone to cling to, or they cling to me in a girlfriend-like situation, not like a guy. And to the point that, okay, that's what I was saying. So I think that for me, like, and this is a great thing, but I think that being in this new space, this is going to push me in a way that is necessary. I'm in a place where every time I'm in a situation, I will, for lack of a better word, have someone that calls me every day or checks in on me frequently, and we're literally going through life together. And that's great. I think that that's necessary, and at times I've needed it. And then at times, because it's just like going with the motions, sometimes you don't feel like talking, or sometimes you don't feel like that necessary, that need to kind of like just be there. But you're so used to it that you don't say anything, and like the calls can be super short, especially if you're busy, so it's no big deal. But I think that for me, I'm in a space now where like I don't have that. And a part of me is starting to like really love that. Like I wake up and I'm productive. And like today I have literally not turned on the TV. I have done stuff, and I know that like talking even that 45 minutes or 30 minutes would have like taken me off my square. And it's something that being by myself, being in the situation is really pushing me. And I know that it's something that I need. And so if you're in a situation where like you're always leaning on girlfriends or even guys or whatever to like get you through, I think that for me, the moment that it's gone, you realize a couple of things. One, like life goes on. Life goes on. People think that they have such, or that they're making such a big impact on you. And granted, they may be, but if something were to happen where you guys don't talk as frequently or don't talk anymore or whatever, people still move on and people still have a great, valuable, full life, even without that person that was quote unquote your best friend or quote unquote someone you talk to every day. And so for me, I realized that there's a lot of things that I need to be doing that I just have to do. Like being consistent on YouTube is something that I have to do if I want to make money on YouTube and things like that, if I want to continue to build my brand. And so for me, this time by myself is useful. And I mean, I'm not completely by myself. People are still calling me, like I'm still doing stuff. But it's just that everyday, like clockwork situation is no longer a tie to me, and I feel a freeing weight from it. Not because of what anybody else did, but I just think that in this space, in this stage, I need to be in a situation where I am a little bit more detoxed from outside values, outside opinions, outside perspectives, even outside encouragement. And just kind of take this time to like rely on me and who God is sending me to, depending on the day and stuff. And so that leads me to my weekend. So my weekend was really interesting. Friday, I don't recall doing anything. I really didn't. And then I just worked. I worked on my funnel. I worked on the funnel all day. And I was so frustrated that I didn't finish. And then I had to take my brain and switch my mind frame and say, hey, you're doing something that you've never done before. And you've done a lot. You've recorded videos. You've done so much. So then Saturday I woke up at 7 and I was determined to like finish my recordings and editing and upload them to YouTube before I moved forward. And so for me, for those that don't know, I went to Calvin Christian School. It's a private elementary school in South Holland, whoop whoop, CCS. And they're having their first Black is Excellence program. And by me being a Delta, they have me helping with like their STEP program, and they're really cute. Like it's gonna be really nice. It's really together. And so it is actually going to be this Thursday. And so we had a additional practice on Saturday. And it was supposed to be from 10 to 1, but it ended up going extra because you know how it goes. And so ideally I was like, I would need to be there at 10. And then I took a step back and I was like, look, if you can't get your funnel together where you are collecting new emails and like literally like getting new business and growing your following, your cup is not full. Your cup is not full to give. And I had to give myself grace and say, you know what? If it takes another hour, if it takes another hour and a half, I'm going to be right here doing that. And that's what I did. And when I came, I said I didn't even have to make an excuse why I'm late. Like at the end of the day, this is volunteering. And that's another, like, I put so much pressure on myself when like I don't need to. The Saturday practice was last minute and I didn't know it was going to be there. And so when I heard on Wednesday, I was like, oh, I'll be there, but I also knew I had these things to work on. And so I'm just talking to you so that you could put these things into perspective. Like, I have to focus on this. Me being in a place where like rent is due, and at this point I don't have quote unquote ongoing contracts. Like, being out here and making sure that my systems are in place is more important than ever. And I can't live something that I don't preach. And I can't be in a place where I give so much to quote unquote volunteer, where bank accounts might be negative or things might be due and I'm not ready to pay and all types of stuff. Like, I don't want to be in that situation. I'm not going to be in that situation. And I know what to do. I know the tools. I just have to literally do them. And so I finished it, and I got there, and the kids hugged me, and we like went over stuff, and I was there for the whole second go round. So I literally didn't miss much, and my input was still valuable when I was there, and everything was fine. So all that extra, it was all in my head, and it was all on me. So then we keep going. So I had went to All Nations Worship Assembly 2 weekends ago. Before All-Star, because that weekend, that Sunday, I went to the Kanye Sunday service, which I'll talk to you about that in another video. And they have mentioned that their chaplain committee was doing vision boards. And see, I had already done my vision board, but it wasn't complete. You know, like sometimes I went to a vision board party, I started it, but some of the magazines just didn't have what I was looking for, and I just didn't want to put anything. So some of it just wasn't done yet. And that's okay. Again, giving myself grace, like, you're not ready. But when I tell you, when I walked in there, now granted, the people that were there, it was my first time going to that group, so I didn't know who they were or what they were doing. I just knew to put it in my phone. And so when I did that, everybody was at least 20 years older than me or more. And they were telling their testimonies and their stories and just giving life stuff. And when I tell you that the magazines that I was pulling had everything that I needed, that's when I knew that I was literally in the place I'm supposed to be. But let me tell you, because Calvin got out a little bit later, then I had to go to the library to print something for one of my banks. By the time I got there 2 hours late. The vision board party was from 1 to 3. I got there like 2:30, closer to 3. But when I got there, I was received well. I had more than enough time to complete my vision boards. And I was in a place where I knew that I was supposed to be there. And then I came home, worked a little bit more on my stuff, watched a movie, and kind of just chilled because it was a long day. Then fast forward, now we're at a situation where it's Sunday. And Sunday, I've been trying to go to Trinity for a minute. It's been in my mind. Sorry, not trying. I've been wanting to try Trinity for a minute. I've heard great things about it. My godmother was, her funeral was there. And I just, wanted to experience it. And so my friend Ike goes there. So I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yo, after All-Star and everything, like, let's go. He like, all right, cool, just hit me up. So because I moved, like, Ike lives like 3 minutes away, 6 blocks, like real close. He's my neighbor. I could walk to him, he could walk to me. And so we went, and it was great. It was what I needed. It reminded me of Ebenezer. When I was in Atlanta, I went to 3 different churches, really. And Ebenezer was just super pro-black, but action-oriented. The person was smart. And so you could tell with the main pastor that he was smart. And not just smart in the world, but like smart. Educated. Studies. Multiple things. Not just the Bible. And I loved it. the whole thing was the revolution would not be televised. And we talked about Acts 16. And we were talking about how Paul and Silas were in the jail cell, and it was around midnight when they started praising and worshiping. And because 2 people were praising and worshiping, every gate went down for all the prisoners. And the guard that was watching, he was about to kill himself. And they said, "Don't kill yourself, like, we're here." And the guard was like, "I want to know more about your God. Tell me, how do I become saved?" And so I take that as, there's a lot of things that I have to do. Like, there's income that I need to make. There are jobs that I need to apply for. There are contracts that I need to apply for. There are emails that I need to respond to. There are a lot of things that need to happen quick, soon. Like, this next 30 days are going to be a whirlwind. I know I'm going to be light years away from where I am starting now. But I am promising you that I am trusting and believing that I am exactly where I need to be. I am trusting and believing that I know that God is guiding me. I know that I am supposed to be stretched outside of my comfort zone. And I know that this, not isolation, because that's not what it is, but this more intentional time of being by myself is so that I can that I can stretch in ways that I was not comfortable in, that I wasn't going to do without being by myself. That I have the books, and I've gone to different conferences already this year that have given me the wealth, the knowledge, and the know-how for me to grow my products, my digital products, coming out with my books, my journals, my ebooks, things that I knew that I wanted to do, that I needed to do, that was on my mind for a while. I'm now in the process where I am pushing through. And it is scary. And it's scary because I don't have anything to lean back on, but that's okay. That's okay. Because if I did, would I be here? Who knows? We can't answer, but I can say that 2020 is going to be one of the best years of my life because I am pushing myself out to a whole nother level. A whole nother level. And I'm openly showing you how you walk through faith and how I am turning to God and not away from God. As I am making some of the biggest actions, networking decisions that are going to affect the rest of my life and will affect my children and then my children's children. And it's because I'm in this situation where I need to be right here, right now. Sorry guys, I'm going to end that. I didn't know it was going to turn this way, but it's necessary. So stay tuned. The next video, I'm going to show you guys what my vision boards are. Like I said, I'm breaking them into 3 this time. So I'm going to tell you why 3 and what they are. All right, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.